Sometimes life throws bold moments at you, like finding the perfect vacation or finding the ideal location. At BOS, we're there to help you meet those moments with bold confidence. So whether it's managing money for future plans or getting what you need to start planning your dream, we're here to bring you a better banking experience. Make the bold move and switch to BOS today.
Hey, this is Ron Kinscherf. This is the Business Spotlight brought to you by the Bank of Springfield. Today we're going to talk with Jeff Longlett with Liberty Bank. It says Liberty Bank here now, but it was North Adams Bank or the IRSA Bank for many, many years.
Correct.
So the transition went pretty well over to Liberty Bank, right?
Yes. Last week we've talked to a lot of our customers and worked with them through the change, and it's been very smooth. There's always hiccups no matter what you do.
Right,
But, you know, we've worked through those very well, and I think we're making very good progress. And
was there any negativity from any of your clients? You don't have to specifically say what, but did anybody say,
No.
gosh darn it, I wish you weren't doing that?
You know, some of them were, you know, they enjoyed North Adams State Bank because it was North Adams State Bank
Right.
since 1980. And, you know, it's kind of like, why are you changing? Why are you doing this? But as far as negativity, no, it's all been good. It's just been a lot of questions of what about, you know, what can we do? Or can we still do what we were doing?
Yeah.
And so
you're messing with people's money, so obviously they're going to be a little bit,
you know.
You had to be sensitive to that. So 1980, North Adams Bank.
Yes.
But there was a bank even prior to that, right?
Right.
So
right.
what was the history of that bank?
That bank actually was closed in 1969 by the FDIC.
Okay.
It failed. And so IRSA went about 10 years without a bank in the community. And so you would have had to go to Minden or Quincy or somewhere else to do your banking. There were several local farmers in the area that decided, you know, we need to have our local bank back. And so they decided to get together. I think it was Norman McAllister and Morris Conover were two of those people that were kind of pushing that lead. And they got a hold of a few other people, and a group decided, hey, let's do that. And so they ended up going and chartering a new bank.
And when did your family get involved?
Well, my father was actually involved, was a founder, was part of that group.
Of the North Adams group?
Yes.
Okay, was your family involved with the prior?
No.
Okay,
no.
so here's the thing though. So 10 years prior, the bank had failed for whatever reason. Don't need to mess with that. So that took some guts though, 10 years later for these guys to get together and say, we need to get another bank.
Right. And I mean, it took, you know, a little bit of, it was a challenge because at that time, the state decided, hey, you need $250,000 in equity. Then they went back and they had raised that, well, now you need $500,000. And so it was a very, you know, if you remember 1980s, what the 80s were, you know.
Right.
And so it made it very difficult, but they were able to raise the capital. And all the capital is raised by going to community members and saying, hey, would you invest in a community bank?
So it's okay, this is very simplified Ron Kinscherf view of things. So It's a Wonderful Life, the savings and loan there that Jimmy Stewart ran. Is it a similar situation to that at the beginning where everybody has to throw money in it to get the bank started?
Well,
or am I wrong there?
You have to raise so much money in capital.
Right.
You know, you have to have, and so you have to have a certain amount of dollars to be able to open the doors.
And that's all brought in locally?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So again, these guys, so what drove them to do that though? Because I mean, you were able to come into town or come to Quincy or wherever and do your banking.
Right. I'll be honest, I was not there.
I understand.
You know,
I thought maybe your dad, your dad shared it with you.
You know, it was more of the idea of we want to have that small community bank one-on-one, you know, that type of feel. Yes, I was not very old at the time.
At the time,
no. You know, I think I was 2 when the bank opened.
Okay,
so I'm aging myself.
But you started as a teller at 5, if I recall.
Yeah. That was it. Yes.
So that's how the North Adams banks got started, and obviously were successful, continued to grow at that point. What do you attribute to success to?
Good leadership.
Okay.
I really do. You know, we were able to bring in Paul Pogue, who ran a good institution, ran good leadership, stayed one-on-one with the community. We were able to, work with people. And we always said we were small enough that we kind of caught the crumbs that fell through the cracks of some of the bigger banks.
Okay.
Worked with those people that maybe couldn't work with some of the other banks. And so we were flexible. We made, we didn't have boxes that people fit into. We designed to make sure that we got whatever they needed done.
Can you give me an example of that?
Maybe they only needed $15,000. Maybe that wasn't a big enough loan for a larger institution.
Got it, okay.
Or their operation, they could only pay maybe every 5 months. They couldn't pay quarterly. Or, it just, a term that maybe wasn't considered a regular term for a bank.
So I kind of view that almost like a family business to a degree, where your neighbor down the street says, hey, I've got X amount of dollars I really could use right now.
Right.
But the normal loan situation, but that guy's good for it.
Right.
That type of thing.
Yeah,
Is that what you're basically
and
getting
it
at?
was, and you always wanted to make sure that you had something to back it up, either collateral or something.
Right,
But at the same time, you were working with that person, and you sat down at their table or at your desk and said, okay, how can we make this work?
Would you consider the character of that person collateral?
At times, I mean, that
Lowercase c, maybe?
lowercase, it's still part of one of the 5 C's of credit.
Okay.
You've got and so character is always one of the parts that you look at. And so, but you've got your other C's that you have to also, capital, cash flow, all that fun stuff that bankers look at, nobody else cares about.
So Paul Pogue,
Yes.
was he in banking? And
Yes.
then you brought him in, so I don't want to say an outsider necessarily, but you had to bring him in to run.
He was
North
actually
Adams
the
Bank.
president of Liberty Bank.
Okay, so you
And
stole him, in other words.
Well, he decided to make a change.
You know what I'm saying, yeah.
Right, but he came from Liberty. He'd been president at Liberty.
Okay, and then, so you guys have always had a close relationship with Liberty.
Yes.
So now that you guys have merged, what benefit does that give to Bob and Sally down the street in Ursa that have been with you guys since the beginning of North Adams?
Well, for one, things are still the same. It's still the same people. We're still sitting down at the table going, okay, how can we help you? We're still catching those crumbs, as I say,
Right.
those little pieces, but it gives us a larger balance sheet to work with. So if we do need to help the customer that is growing and we need to do a larger loan, we're able to. We have more people there to help with whatever you may need, because being a small institution, we only had a certain amount of employees.
Right.
By combining forces, now we have a lot larger employees that we can do different things.
The one thing you had mentioned too is that you have a presence in Quincy now, where a
Yes.
lot of your customers work, so they can stop at an ATM.
We
or
went
do a
from
deposit.
we went from 2 branches in Ursa and Camp Point. Now we're 5 branches. We got Ursa, Camp Point, Liberty, Berry, Payson, Quincy. We have 9 ATMs spread out throughout the county. You go to any town in Adams County and we're there.
Right.
So, we're there to serve the community.
Cool. Well, congratulations on the merger. Thanks for coming in and telling the story.
You bet.
All right.
Thank you.
Jeff Longlett with Liberty Bank.
Liberty Bank.
Prior North Adams Bank. This is Ron Kinscherf with the Business Spotlight.
Sometimes life throws bold moments at you, like finding the perfect vacation or finding the ideal location. At BOS, we're there to help you meet those moments with bold confidence. So whether it's managing money for future plans or getting what you need to start planning your dream, we're here to bring you a better banking experience. Make the bold move and switch to BOS today.